Hi guys, Tom Morrison here, and it is a very common myth that you should never round your spine, that even if you're picking something up as light as a pen, that you should do it with a neutral spine and use your hips properly in the right way and stay braced at all times. And this is absolutely crazy. You're not that weak, no one is that weak, and the entire world, yes you, is probably, they're rounding their spine every day. They're not probably, they are rounding their spine every day. Even if you're just sitting down to tie your shoelaces, you're going to be rounding your spine. And you can accidentally get into a phase where you start to think that you're always trying to keep your spine straight and not even realizing these other things that you're doing. So nothing is right or wrong. There's just situations that you should not be rounding your spine in, and situations that it's completely fine to round your spine in. Even if you're someone like myself that has disc issues, I have a protrusion and an extrusion in my lumbar spine, you may just be more sensitive to certain movements at the moment. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. If you avoid certain movements, that's when fear and extra sensitivity can start to come in, and you can completely ruin your quality of life by avoiding these things. Yes, it is true whenever you're training that your body shouldn't be forced into a rounded position involuntarily. That is not good. So your body is not going to be prepared for the pressure. It's unexpected. Yes, that can cause injury. Maybe not even right away, but over the long term, it can over time. But even there, I have met people that have been lifting badly for 10 plus years, and they've just been absolutely fine. So your spine is a lot more resilient than you think, but you want to make sure that you have a really good grasp on these concepts. Even picking up an object with a rounded spine isn't even as bad as it's made out to be. If we use examples for this around the world, you have MMA fighters that are trying to lift people in all kinds of weird positions, and one of the best examples is strongman events. Like, look at the weird objects they're trying to do, all the Atlas stone lifts and the log, all that kind of stuff. Lifting with a rounded back can also be a technique if you understand the bracing and where you actually need to generate the power from, which is going to come from the hips as well. But it's not so much the rounded spine position that is bad if you are aware that you're doing it and if you can maintain that flexed position. Again, it's only if you are involuntarily pulled out of position and you don't have the maximal strength that you need to maintain that you're actually going to run into any problems. Especially outside of the gym, rounding your back isn't that bad. In fact, I bet you're doing it right now.
How does he always know?
Your spine is segmented and designed to move in all kinds of different ways. We've got forwards, we've got back, so this is flexion extension, we've got lateral flexion extension, we got side-to-sidiness, we got roundy-roundiness, we got all these different kind of things. We can even get groovy in the club if we want to. Your spine is designed to be able to move like this, and when you never do things like that, your body just stiffens up. So I have met people that have just ended up so rigid and so scared to do anything that they basically move like this, and it just makes you feel so much worse. So you really want to start to work yourself into these different positions and not be scared to move around and sway around. So if you are someone that is experiencing a lot of pain, like I was at one point, I could barely even move like that, and especially move to that side because of where my disc injuries actually protrude out to. So they were very, very sensitive to me for a long time, but the more I worked through them and worked on different exercises, it started to become less sensitive, and I feel nothing that much anymore. Well, not that much, but I'm still aware that something feels funky when I lean to this side a bit more than whenever I lean to this side, but it doesn't cause me any hassle or any pain whatsoever, and I'm able to lift and do all the things that I enjoy doing absolutely pain-free and with no fear. So the main things that you want to learn on top of this as well, so being able to learn how to be relaxed and chilled out, you also want to know how to load your hips properly. So it's not just enough to keep your back straight whenever you're lifting something. So say you're going to be picking up your pen and just thinking about keeping the back straight, you're not really teaching the hips how to load or do anything properly in that position. So you want to start to give yourself more hamstring awareness and learn how to hinge properly. You don't need to learn how to deadlift heavy, but you do want to learn how to feel and engage your hamstrings. So you want to start to put yourself in a position that you're actually learning how to send yourself back into a good position, feel the hamstrings, and not move from the spine. So that's the difference. So you should be able to go, this is my spine moving, or I want to keep it locked in place, and I brace like I'm doing a really, really hard plank, and I'm able to reach into my hips from that position there. I can then work on squeezing my glutes to bring myself to standing again. So working on that, like I've done, I don't know how many courses and how many seminars and been taught the deadlift, I don't know how many times, And I'm still learning stuff about it for years, so you can always get better at this stuff. Never just think that you've mastered something because, say, numbers are going up or you think that you can do it. You can always learn that a little bit more, and body awareness is something you can always be working on. So other nice examples as well would be to work on leaning from side to side, but into the hips. So the spine stays in that neutral position, but you're actually moving around there, and you feel the hamstring more in one side compared to if I was just wiggle my bum. That is going to be my spine actually moving. Whereas here, I lock the spine in place and I move from the hips. So these are drills. Film yourself as you do these and see if you look like what you're feeling at the time. So make sure that you're always thinking about body awareness and don't be scared to move any kind of way. So if you're in the gym and you're loading weights and you're lifting properly, doing all your technique really, really well, you shouldn't be scared to then change the weights or lift up your chalk bag with a rounded back afterwards. So always think about strength, but perspective of what you're actually doing. So you shouldn't be scared to lift up something light, but if you are wanting to lift up something heavy, then your technique should be on point. It's the things that you choose to do or not do with your body that will dictate how it feels. If you train your spine and your hips properly and work on your body awareness, you're probably going to feel pretty good. If you are avoiding things and scared to do things, then you're just going to live your entire life being petrified of everything. So, get moving.